Hey folks, welcome to another edition of Fitness Friday Posi-TIPS with Rachelle. It is always great to be here with you as always on Fitness Friday, the best day of the week. Gotta love it. Folks, last time kicked off the second half of this leadership lesson series by highlighting under the broader theme, what's your problem? And I discussed the importance of truth, having a great relationship with truth in terms of being able to tell others the truth, but also being willing to hear the truth and face the truth of various situations in our lives. It is so important, and we as leaders got to have a strong relationship with the truth, and it will prevent a lot of problems, certainly down the road. And so this time, folks, I want to continue this conversation on what's your problem by highlighting, speaking a little bit of truth to you, about one of the biggest challenges in the fitness industry, one of the biggest problems that has dogged the fitness industry in terms of facilities for years and years and years, and how the coronavirus pandemic has really shined a spotlight on it. And so, as you heard me allude to when I concluded last week's episode of Rachelle's Coronavirus Challenge, we all need to realize, yes, we're in the middle of a pandemic. There's a lot of tragedy, suffering, heartache, uncertainty, adversity, hardship, but folks, we need to look for ways and look for the good in our lives. Realize how we're blessed. Be thankful. Be grateful. Look for the silver linings even in adverse situations. And I think for this problem that has dogged the fitness industry that I'm going to get into a little bit here for so many years, now the spotlight is really on it. And I think changes are coming. So we're going to talk more about that in a bit. But one thing you heard me mention too is this is an opportunity. Last time I talked about this. This is an opportunity as the pause button has been hit on all of our lives for us to really stop, face some truth in terms of what's going on in our lives. And I often state we can face the truth, or that same truth is going to come back to hit us in the face. So what's working? What's not working? Am I happy? Am I not happy? What can I do about this? Can I fix this situation? Do I need to exit the situation? Whatever the case may be, now is the time for us to perform inventories on our lives, each and every aspect of our lives. What can we do also to contribute to making this world a better place and to making a difference even in the height of this pandemic and adversity? What ways can you give back? What ways can you do your part to make someone's lives better, other people's lives better? All right, become a better parent, a better significant other, spouse, become a better friend, become a better community member, call and check on an elderly person, run errands for an elderly person who may not be able to get to the grocery store right now. So there's different things that we can all do to continue to give back and show that our positive, giving, generous spirits continue during this pandemic, folks. But I'm gonna talk about Nick Saban. I'm gonna kick off this episode by highlighting Nick Saban, because this is an opportunity as our lives are on pause to think about areas that we can grow, learn, develop, and become better people. You know, I've said this over and over again. We learn and grow most during seasons of hardship and adversity. Not when everything's going well, when everything is going our way. Absolutely not. And so this article actually made me smile. So Sports Illustrated, Elizabeth Swinton published this on April 8th, 2020. The title of this article is Nick Saban Now Knows How to Use His Email Account. So it goes on to say, Alabama head coach Nick Saban has used his time in quarantine to catch up with technology. In an interview with ESPN's Maria Taylor on Instagram, Saban revealed that one positive to come out of the sports hiatus is him learning how to use his email account. Saban, 68, said others were forwarding emails to his wife, Terry, before she fired him and made him start working his email account himself. He said he still does not send or receive text messages, but he now can communicate with others via email. I've come a long way, Saban said. It's hard to communicate when you have to be by yourself and you always depend on someone else to get your emails and messages and all that. It just didn't work. While he says he will take calls, Saban added he has also communicated with others online through Zoom and FaceTime. There you have it. There's one example. Multiple championship winning NC2A University of Alabama head coach Nick Saban has now adopted electronic communication technology. All right, so a silver lining. What did he say? One of the positives of this sports hiatus. So think about what are similar positives that you can also experience in your own life. What can you learn? What project have you been putting off forever, and now you have time to actually embark upon that project? All right, we can all have wins just like this in each and every aspect of our lives, but we have to be open now. We have to be open right now to say, hey, this is an opportunity. I can really work on my professional development. I can become a better leader. I can become a better relationship partner, whatever the case may be. Only you know that, folks. So wanted to had to kick off this episode by highlighting that. And so, folks, as I shift gears here back onto leadership lessons, we talk about what's your problem. And I've addressed this problem in a past Fitness Friday Posi-TIPS leadership series on gym leader no-nos or gym leadership no-nos, or it can be fitness facility leadership no-nos. It certainly broadly applies. And one of the problems, yes, it's highlighted issues such as, the importance of cleanliness and maintaining equipment and all of that kind of stuff. Very, very important things to do. But a problem that has dogged the fitness industry, particularly around, again, fitness industry is very broad, but fitness facilities have been dogged by this problem of billing and cancellation problems and issues and challenges. It doesn't matter whether we're talking about a commercial chain, a franchise chain, private gym, a community gym, community chain of facilities, folks. This is something that is problematic. That is something that just goes on and happens over and over and over again. And you can even, from a statistical or research standpoint, even if you were to isolate variables such as the type of facility, whether it's a boutique studio or general fitness chain type of facility, or publicly traded or privately owned or franchise, whatever the case may be, leadership tenure of the owner or leaders, the cost of membership, doesn't matter. All of these variables, even if you were to isolate them, this problem remains. People or members having problems with billing and cancellations. You can look at all types of clubs across this country. All types, all brands, private, commercial, community. This is something that is a problem. And so here we go. We got the SWOT analysis. And so yes, strengths, weaknesses are internal, opportunities and threats are external. I've talked about this. It seems like a gazillion times on Fitness Friday on the leadership series. But it is so important. So yes, we can use and we can look at individual fitness facilities in terms of performing a SWOT analysis, or a chain or a franchise group chain, whatever the case may be, individually private owned gym or studio, community chain or individual, this all applies. But SWOT analyses are also performed at the macro level. So looking at the overall fitness industry in terms of facilities of all types, you can just look at that, and this is true across all industries: consumer packaged goods, automotive, tech sector. So this is very important as you look at situational analysis, or situational analyses, plural, are done, and a lot of this SWOT analysis goes into that. What's going on in the marketplace? What's going on in the fitness industry? What's going on in terms of fitness facilities? All of this and that. And so, I emphatically state to you today that this weakness of the fitness industry, again, the fitness industry's got strengths as well. Overall, you're helping to improve members' quality of life, particularly those who actually go to the facility and exercise and do these type of things. So overall, improving quality of life, improving health outcomes, things like that, weight loss, and all of that. But the weaknesses, there's certainly some weaknesses, and a big, gigantic one is this billing and cancellation process. People complain about it over and over and all across the country in all types of facilities. And so this is a problem that supersedes, a weakness and a problem that certainly supersedes any one individual facility or gym or studio. This is something that is big. There's a big problem in the fitness industry. I'm going to give you some examples here, and then I'm going to wrap this episode up here with Rachelle's Coronavirus Challenge. And so I've got some examples. So I actually screenshotted a few, and then I've got some articles. Had to do this in the interest of time. So I know I introduced this concept and this whole problem last time by talking about Boston sports clubs, highlighted the Boston Globe article about how litigation is now happening around these cancellation policies and challenges that people are having. So this article appeared, and I'm only going to highlight the headline in the interest of time, but it's pretty self-explanatory, and that's why. So, March 27, 2020 at 4:13, the byline is giving credit to club industry staff, so it's not any one individual that wrote the article, but the title is Town Sports Accused of Unjustly Charging Members, Refusing Cancellations During Coronavirus Shutdown. So that's the first one. Okay, next, Pamela Kufal, also Club Industry Magazine, Director of Content and Engagement, on April 2nd, 2020, published this article. I'm going to read the headline and then the subheadline as well. LA Fitness, 24-Hour Fitness face lawsuits related to COVID-19 shutdowns. Subhead states, lawsuits against two of the largest U.S. health club company chains stem from members claiming they were charged for dues despite the clubs being temporarily closed due to the coronavirus. So now I'm going to move on over here to some examples I have saved on my iPad. And I'm going to read this article, another club industry article, and it's a little bit lengthy, but I want to read this for full context. So, another article on entitled regarding actually dealing with Town Sports International. So we got a second article that talked about some of the initial legal challenges and litigation they were facing. So Pamela Kufal on April 13th published this article at 10:43 p.m. entitled Town Sports International Faces More Legal Issues Related to Membership Charges During COVID-19 Shutdown. So I'm going to read this. It's a little lengthy, but the context is wonderful, so I want to make sure to read this whole thing. Town Sports International, Jupiter, Florida, is facing a second class action suit and responded to letters from 4 state attorney general offices related to its membership billing and cancellation policies during the coronavirus pandemic. Town Sports, which operates clubs under the brand names New York Sports Club, Boston Sports Clubs, Philadelphia Sports Clubs, Washington Sports Club, TMPLE, and Total Woman Gym Plus Spa, already faces a class action suit from a member of its New York Sports Club, alleging that she is being unjustly charged membership dues and denied the ability to cancel her membership during the COVID-19 pandemic forced club closures. That complaint, which was filed in the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of New York on March 26, also alleges that her electronic signature had been superimposed onto other terms and agreement forms that she had not seen. The second separate lawsuit was filed on April 6th in the U.S. District Court for Massachusetts by members of Boston sports clubs. The complaint alleges that Town Sports temporarily closed its facilities on March 16th due to the COVID-19 pandemic, furloughed most of its employees, and then shockingly and willingly continued to charge consumers monthly membership fees for services that it knowingly would not render. Massachusetts Attorney General Maura Healey, who was not part of this suit, noted that she had received 920 complaints from Boston Sports Club members alleging that they had tried and failed to cancel their contracts with the company despite making phone calls, emailing, and sending social media messages to the company in an effort to cancel their contracts. Consumers allege their request received no responses, she said in a media release. Consumers also allege the company continued to charge them for memberships despite the clubs being closed. On April 3rd, Healey sent a letter to Town Sports Chairman and CEO Patrick Walsh asking that the company stop billing members while its Boston sports clubs are closed and that it allow members to cancel their contracts without paying a fee. On April 10th, the Massachusetts Attorney General shared that she had received a commitment from Town Sports to comply with her office's requests. Town Sports stated that it would cease all billing until its clubs reopen by placing a no-cost freeze on all member accounts, provide additional membership access equal to the number of days paid while the clubs are closed, allow members to cancel by sending a request through their club's website, and waive all cancellation fees through April 30th, 2020, according to Healey. Town Sports is offering online streaming workouts for members who wish to remain active and is offered to provide upgrades for Boston Sports Club members once their clubs reopen. We'll be watching closely to make sure the company does right by its clients going forward, Healy said in the media release. Under Massachusetts law, consumers have a right to cancel a contract with a health club when the club substantially changes the operation of the health club or location, according to the Attorney General. The indefinite closure of all Boston sports clubs as a result of the COVID-19 epidemic qualifies as a substantial change and gives members the rights to cancel their contract. 3 other state attorneys general band together and sent a letter on April 3rd to Town Sports demanding similar actions. Attorneys general from New York, Pennsylvania, and the District of Columbia asked Town Sports to stop charging members while their clubs were closed and to stop charging fees to customers seeking cancellations and membership freezes, according to a media release from the D.C. Attorney General's office. Since that letter was sent, Town Sports has said it would automatically freeze all memberships, but the D.C. Office of the Attorney General said that it is still working with Town Sports to address some remaining issues. The D.C. Office of the Attorney General is engaged in active litigation with Town Sports over allegations that the company violated both consumer protection laws and the terms of a 2016 settlement agreement regarding misleading cancellation policies. Town Sports isn't the only club company that received letters from an Attorney General's office. The Arizona Attorney General office sent letters to Lifetime, Planet Fitness, and Mountainside Fitness demanding that these companies allow members of its clubs in Arizona to cancel their memberships online rather than requiring that they do so in person, as was stated on their websites. Since those letters were sent, Lifetime and Planet Fitness confirmed to club industry that they were allowing members to cancel remotely. Lifetime said that it has accepted notice of cancellation by email and U.S. mail for several years. A statement from Lifetime noted, the standard cancellation notice still applies. However, no membership dues will be assessed until the clubs reopen. Members also have the option of putting their memberships on hold during this time period. Additionally, we are not charging our members access dues during the period that our clubs are closed, and we prorated March dues based on our March 17th closure. Planet Fitness shared that it is processing cancellation requests while closed and has proactively frozen all memberships on behalf of members so that they are not being billed any fees during this time. Mountainside Fitness declined to comment. So yes, lengthy article, but was certainly well worth the context. Going to read another one in the Wall Street Journal. Again, this is not, when I'm reading from Wall Street Journal, Forbes, Fortune, this is not investment advice. This one deals with Planet Fitness. So keep in mind, this one was March 23rd, so not too long after the gyms were shut down. So this was published in the Wall Street Journal by Spencer Jakab, Jakab, March 23rd, 2020, 1:59 p.m. is when this was published. It's entitled, "This Gym Chain Has Reason to Sweat." And the subhead states, budget gym chain Planet Fitness says it was too late to call off plans to charge customers for March, and customers can cancel their memberships by visiting its locations, which are closed. The article goes on to state, Planet Fitness might have just given the judgment-free zone a new meaning. In a questionable move, the chain charged its customers for March dues through a direct debit to their bank accounts despite closing its facilities nationwide due to the novel coronavirus pandemic. Many Planet Fitness locations weren't answering phones Monday. One that did explained that customers normally must cancel in person, a dicey move when few are leaving home. Certified letters are ordinarily accepted. Unfortunately, that isn't even possible. And so I'm going to skip the rest. And so they are dealing with some situations, and it goes on to say some people were upset and complaining on Twitter, and it talks about the hit that the stock has taken. That's why I'm just going to leave all of that out. So Planet Fitness, okay, the industry leader, also facing challenges in this area. And so this is going to be the last one that I read. I'm going to make some general comments and then move on into Rachelle's coronavirus challenge. See, a lot of this and this particular topic is pretty self-explanatory. So I don't have to spend a lot of time, discussing this and breaking this stuff down because it's just, clear cut. It's litigation. So we've got a local Detroit Free Press article that was written by J.C. Rendell, published on 7 a.m. April 1st, 2020, updated 5:15 p.m. April 1st. So J.C. Rendell's business reporter actually covers gyms and the fitness industry for the Detroit Free Press. I've seen a number of articles from him over the years. But this one is entitled, Many Michigan Gyms Have Stopped Auto Charges During Coronavirus, but Not All. So it's interesting. So he's a business reporter, but in this article, he was business reporter slash consumer affairs reporter. Very, very interesting. He did a nice job on this article. So it states, even though all gyms and fitness centers in Michigan have been shut for more than 2 weeks and must stay closed until at least April 14th under a state government order, some have reportedly continued charging their members monthly dues. Such charges typically range from $10 per month to $70 or more. Whether the charges run afoul of Michigan consumer protection law may depend on the fine print of the gym's membership contracts. Even so, the coronavirus pandemic could be considered an extraordinary event, allowing such charges to be canceled, a legal term called force majeure, according to consumer attorneys. Southfield-based attorney Steve Leto said about half dozen people have contacted him in recent days with stories about gyms that did not stop auto-charging dues to credit cards. Some of these gyms later apologized to the members and promised refunds, Leto said. The next section is what you can do. Under it, he states, the first step for consumers facing such a situation is to contact their gym and request the refund. The auto charge may have indeed happened in error. Numerous gym chains, including Planet Fitness, LA Fitness, Orange Theory Fitness, and some Anytime Fitness franchise locations, have announced they will freeze charges on their members' accounts. Some other gyms have offered credit to members for future months. A lot of these gyms are going to be accommodating their customers because they don't want to upset them and have them not renew, said attorney Ian Linglip of Southfield-based Linglip & Associates Consumer Law Center. For those whose gym refuses to issue any refunds or credits for when the building was closed, they can try contacting their credit card company about doing a chargeback or forced refund of the membership charges. Linglip said he recommends that people send a written letter via certified mail for credit card billing disputes because there are then more consumer protections in place compared to navigating the process over the phone. For instance, a written letter triggers an investigation into the charges, which prevents the credit card company from collecting the disputed fee or reporting it as a mispayment to credit scoring firms. The Michigan Attorney General could also get involved if there are found to be gyms that refuse to stop charging customers during the period they were closed, according to Leto. The consumer complaints form for the Attorney General's office is online, and it lists the website. I can't imagine any situation where gyms could say, we can keep charging you and keep your money despite not giving you what we bargained for, Leto said. And so, here it is. Here it is. So a lot of problems, a lot of challenges, and that was a very interesting article, as I stated, very, very consumer affairs focused article by JC. I actually need to send his email is at the bottom. I need to shoot him an email and say good time. I have to remember that. Good job on this for, again, empowering consumers who are dealing with this situation. Again, this industry weakness that has been a problem for many years. And so the fitness industry is not the only industry facing this type of problems. We have situations going on also with the airline industry because people had bought tickets well in advance. And then the airline industry, you can Google this and you will get a lot of information, a lot of articles that have been written on this. I don't have the time to go into that whole airline industry coronavirus cancellation problems that they're facing on this episode. But it's many similar situations where, you had airlines, some of the airlines were saying, well, instead of giving you a full refund, how about I give you a credit on a future flight? All right, and that was causing problems because people were saying, no, I don't know if I want to fly again, or I don't know if I ever, at what point I'm going to feel comfortable flying again. Refund me my money. So there's problems with that particular industry. And so now you've got a situation because of the coronavirus pandemic where fitness facilities are now enabling members to cancel remotely, online. In the problem and in many of the complaints that you will see across the fitness industry, with people complaining on, Google reviews, Yelp reviews, just all types of complaints. Ripoff Report, ConsumerAffairs.com, and that's ripoffreport.com. Just industry problems, just all over the place. Private Google reviews in terms of private facilities or chain of facilities, community, whatever. This billing problem and cancellation problem is just plagues the industry. And now you've got litigation, you've got class action lawsuits, and now you have a situation where facilities are now, like I quoted in that club industry article, like Arizona, enabling people to cancel online. And why? When you contrast the fitness industry, you think about, just say a fitness chain, whether it be a franchise chain or a corporate chain. Okay, and in the process, typically you send a certified letter or you go there in person to cancel. All right, and you think about just kind of business 101, and this has been one of the large, a very big complaint towards the fitness industry, is they make it difficult to cancel. And that's why you have this big problem regarding cancellations and billings. People cancel, and they're still being billed months later, sometimes years later, and they go in and they cancel, and then the cancellation never really happens, and they keep getting billed. And so there's Better Business Bureau complaints, Ripoff Report, Consumer Affairs, lawsuits, now class action lawsuits that have happened. All right, and it's all regarding the ease or the difficulty level of canceling a membership. Because when you think about that, particularly when we think about technology and e-commerce, just to throw out Amazon as an example. You're a Prime member, okay, they give you the option to cancel that membership right there. I mean, you log into your account, you can cancel that Prime membership. And so you've got many e-commerce based situations or entities that will enable members or subscribers, whatever the case may be, to cancel online, and bam, it's done. All right, and then so when you think about that, so this paradigm, particularly around membership-based, subscription-based, monthly charging or weekly charging, bi-weekly charging entities that have facilitated the cancellation process by enabling people to click a button online to cancel and be done. So in terms of impacting consumer behavior, again, going back to a very fundamental marketing class for colleges and universities around the world, is consumer behavior. We think about how that has impacted consumer behavior is consumers now have a stronger expectation than in 20, 30 years before, when this was still a problem, in terms of the difficulty of canceling gym memberships or fitness facility memberships. But now you've got this paradigm shift towards technology and e-commerce that makes the process much easier, much cleaner. You don't have to talk to anyone. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to get manipulated or strong-armed in some cases into not canceling. And we'll give you this. We'll do this. We'll do this. We'll do this. Much of that is done out of desperation. And so now the fitness industry, the coronavirus pandemic, now has really shined a light on this problem that has dogged the industry for years and years and years. And you've got class action lawsuits and stuff going on. And the possibility, and this is why I say, you got to have somebody that's willing to tell you the truth. For those of you who are fitness facility leaders and owners, whatever the case may be, think about that. You need to mentally prepare for this paradigm to shift. It may not happen, in the next 60 days, 6 months, 6 years, whatever. But eventually, in terms of the spotlight and litigation being focused on the difficulty of canceling gym memberships and things like that, fitness facility memberships, how prepared are you in terms of your business plan, and in terms of, again, what are your projections, your forecasts? If cancellations, remote cancellations via your gym's website become standard, based on, litigation changes things, and having a spotlight changes things. There's a lot of upset people about this situation, because again, people have various reasons, for wanting to cancel, and it's just a matter of just having a sense of honor and integrity, and letting people go. And I talked about this on that gym leadership, fitness facility leadership no notes around billing and cancellations. I mean, you got to be willing to let people go. You got to be ethical. You got to have integrity. When people want to cancel, let them cancel and let them go. And focus on being better for the next member or potential member so that that person doesn't want to cancel or leave. All right, because now having online cancellation, that is going to be a tremendous game changer. To borrow from the vernacular, if eventually at some point folks are able to cancel memberships universally, fitness facility memberships, university online, it's a game changer for the fitness industry. And to borrow from the vernacular, it's going to be a wrap for many facilities, because in terms of forecasting projections and membership revenues and all of that, budgeting, forecasting, all of that, it would be extremely difficult. But there's always pluses, there's always positives. I'm always looking for the silver lining. From a member standpoint, from a potential member, current member, former member, but particularly from a membership standpoint, what that is going to do is bring an unprecedented level of accountability. Unprecedented level of accountability in terms of the customer or member experience, in terms of facility operation or facilities operations. And how is that? Why? Because if members know they can cancel at any time, that is incredibly empowering to the member, again, from a consumer protection standpoint, consumer affairs standpoint, member affairs standpoint. But also what that will do, and theoretically what it should do for the fitness facility leaders, owners, whatever the case may be, corporate chains, whatever, to recognize at any point your members can walk. What that does is, should theoretically challenge folks, fitness facility leaders, to bring their A game to operations each and every day. Each and every day. A lot of these complaints about, the machines have been broken down for 2 weeks or 2 months. The complaints that you see regarding fitness facilities across the country is just astounding. So it's things like that. There'll be greater accountability. Just knowing, we better bring our A game. We better treat people right. We better not just ignore people when they come through the door. We better not have attitudes when people come through the door. We better not be stuck on our employees better not be stuck on their cell phones at the front desk, on Facebook or whatever, when members are coming through, and not acknowledging them coming through. And so it was going to bring greater level of accountability. If that's, ultimately, if that's the case. But mentally, you go, okay, I'm highlighting this in litigation, and it is what it is. I'm highlighting this for a reason, because this has been a problem for a long time, and it doesn't need to be. And that's why I alluded to this and just did a whole episode on this, billing cancellation. It's so important. It's a big no-no. Just humanly, control what you can control. Just do right by your members. Don't have them filing class action lawsuits or individual lawsuits. And in this one, when J.C. Rendell, highlighted a couple of attorneys, I said, wow, and put a link on here to the Attorney General's office for the state of Michigan. This is serious business. This is serious business. You got a number of people that would complain by writing Google reviews on an individual club's website or studio's website or whatever, but now we're talking multiple class action lawsuits, and it's just hammering the whole industry. But this is an opportunity, for the industry to really redeem itself and just to really do its best moving forward, generally speaking. Now everyone is not having billing and cancellation problems or issues, but this is an industry, this is a time for a very long running wrong to be righted. And so fitness facilities, think about, what are you going to do moving forward when you open up, when the clubs do open up? How prepared for you? Again, I'm always going to discuss from a consulting standpoint, from a leadership coaching development standpoint. Okay, how ready are you for when the gym doors open? 20%, 30%, 40, 50%, 70, 80%, potentially, again, this is all hypotheticals, of your members come through the door saying, I'm done. I don't want this membership. Okay, so how prepared are you for that? Because they have a right to do that. They have a right to be done when they want to be done with a fitness facility in terms of being a member. But I'm just saying, and I'm speaking truth to you to say, in terms of business planning from a business planning standpoint. How ready are you for that? If there's a button now that's required this year, next year, years down the road, in terms of a button that allows members to cancel, online, like that. How ready are you for that? But more importantly, from a customer service standpoint, what are some things that you can do, that you can enact, some initiatives, some training and development around ensuring positive member experiences? Now, none of us is perfect. We're not going to be perfect and positive all the time. There's going to be problems, there's going to be issues. But that's where things such as taking responsibility, huge thing, huge issue, and competency from a leadership perspective. Running around, playing the blame game, it's not my fault, shifting blame, it's this person, it's this. No, as leaders, when there are problems, when things go wrong, when there are failures, we need to step up, man up, woman up, and take responsibility for whatever the problem or issues are, and work to resolve them, And so that's all I've got to say for you today regarding leadership lessons. Again, what is your problem? And this is a big problem. Fortunately, there's fitness facility leaders that are watching this that don't have this billing and cancellation problem. But what does that do from you? Again, from a SWOT analysis standpoint, you've got an opportunity. Okay, fitness leaders who don't have billing and cancellation problems. Okay, this is an opportunity for you. When folks go looking for gyms and things like that, this is an opportunity. This when the gyms reopen and everything resumes, this is your time to shine. This is your time to shine based upon the weaknesses of other facilities. See, that's how these SWOT analyses work. That's why it's so important to be cognizant of what's going on. What's going on. Nothing is ever going to be perfect, and you're going to have people cancel for various reasons. But the idea is to minimize that by doing right by people, by treating them right, by offering a well-maintained, clean facility, and doing the best that you can and bringing your A game each and every day, and not taking members for granted. So while this complaint about challenging billing and cancellation process has gone on and on and on and on and on and on and on for years, now it's getting a very big spotlight by some attorneys generals and some members and some disgruntled people that are saying enough of this. So that's all I got for you today regarding leadership lessons. And what is your problem? Face the truth. And in terms of the Boston Globe article that I referenced last week, what is it? You think about what are some of the motives when people do that? When people make cancellations difficult and make it hard, yeah, they're trying to hang on to their people. They're trying to protect those revenues. That's what's happening, right? But at the protecting revenues at the expense of now, you're getting all this negative publicity. You've got class action lawsuits. Attorney generals are sending you letters. That's why it always pays. That old saying, it always pays to do the right thing. It always pays, and people remember that. Consumers remember that. Members remember that. So I just want to challenge your thinking around your billing and your cancellation processes. If they're difficult now, streamline them. Make it easier. Don't twist people's arms and pressure them and bully them and deny them the opportunity to cancel their memberships. That's not fair. That's not right. As I stated in that leadership series, when people are done, when they're ready to leave and be done with your facility and cancel their membership, let them go. Let them go. Let them go. Let them go. All right, making that process more easy, certainly easier and more consumer, member friendly. I mean, it's only going to benefit you, and you reap what you sow. You make it easy, positive things and word of mouth and all of that. That person may actually consider leaving and go to another gym and it not work out, and they come right back. Why? Because you didn't create a negative, horrible experience with them trying to cancel the first time. Right? You notice you don't see a lot of complaints where people saying, oh, Amazon makes it impossible to cancel Prime membership. It's just awful. You don't see those complaints. Why? Because that process is streamlined. This process is streamlined. So I want to get you thinking about that. So folks, just do right by people. We don't want you to be in court. Don't want you to be facing any type of litigation. And you all know, and certainly I've mentioned this on a non-Fitness Friday, and I know a number of lawyers. It's amazing how many lawyers and attorneys I know, particularly those who graduated from Northwestern Law School. And I've had some just wonderful, some of my just had some great mentors that were actually attorneys, and just sown such wisdom and insight into my life. And the bottom line is, you just always want to do the right thing. You don't want to end up in court for any reason. You just do the right thing. Just do right by people, and you'll be good to go. You'll always be good to go, folks. So, gonna shift gears now on into Rachelle's coronavirus challenge. So last time I talked to you, as I could wrap up this episode, on how my sales background in terms of shopping, in terms of dealing with the uncertainty around going into grocery stores and Walmart and places like that and finding what I'm looking for, and how it reminds me so much of the outside sales roles that I had in the medical sales industry, a number of years ago. And so I explained that I really like the hunt and the uncertainty and just the tenacity and things like that that's required to just keep on keeping on and being determined to find what I wanted. And so last time I shared with you and I showed you some examples of my sardines, how I love sardines, and now was able to order a pack of 4 off of Walmart, and it took 10 days to come from Florida. But they came, and I have them once a week instead of several times a week. And I closed with showing you that Armour chili, the can of Armour chili, one of my childhood favorites from Biloxi, Mississippi, that I discovered going into a store in Dollar General in Walled Lake, Michigan, just north of me, suburbs north of me. Was in that Dollar General. I never go to Dollar General, but I was on the hunt for antibacterial hand soap. I send my parents boxes of hard to find items, and it's just easier for me to find it here because we've got so many stores and options versus there in Shreveport, Louisiana. So found one of my childhood favorite chilies, but I wouldn't have discovered it if I wouldn't have gone to 4 or 5 other stores that day looking for antibacterial hand soap, which I didn't find. But folks, I have to kick this episode or this particular Rachelle's coronavirus challenge conversation here off by letting you know. Last Saturday morning, walked into Walmart 2 or 3 minutes after 7 o'clock when they opened in the morning. And what did I see? There were 5 dial hand soaps. And remember how I said this coronavirus pandemic, it's an opportunity for our character to be developed. For us to say, hey, we got to think about the next person. There were 5 of them. And thinking, and the third, initially, the thought crossed my mind, you know what, I could buy all 5 of these because I had been searching for 4 weeks for antibacterial hand soap. And so what I did as a substitution was antibacterial dishwashing soap. So we mail those to Shreveport. But anyway, folks, so last Saturday morning, 4 weeks, countless trips to stores looking for antibacterial hand soap. There was 5. And I said, you know what, I could get all of these 5 in just all the 4 weeks I've been looking. But nope, I just got one again. So this is a war for us in terms of developing our character, these adverse situations in terms of shopping, developing our character to say, I could get them all, and is every man for him or herself? Or no, I could get one and leave 4 others for some other people that are going to be equally excited to walk in here and to see this Dial antibacterial hand soap. One of my absolute favorite soap in terms of keeping this in the kitchen and washing my hands when I cook. So I mean, this is a staple. But you also heard me mention in a previous Fitness Friday a few months ago is that I love Dial Gold bar soap for my showers after I work out. So I do have some idiosyncrasies there. I like this when I'm washing my hands and cooking and stuff. But folks, it took me 4 weeks to find this. 4 weeks. And so when we think about this coronavirus pandemic, when we think about from a shopping standpoint or whatever, determination, the determination to keep on keeping on, despite, it's out here, it's out there, when are they ever going to have it, this and this and that. Yes, determination and tenacity are certainly very strong traits for salespeople. Yes, I admit that. But these are traits, particularly during these adverse circumstances we're all facing, that are critical in order to your quality of life right now. We all have to be committed to persevering with dogged determination to do whatever it is that we need to do. You know, those of us walking in our life purpose, for me, walking in this purpose, even these Posi-TIPS, they will continue. All right, I'm persevering. I'm gonna keep on keeping on, walking in my purpose. And this, of course, these Posi-TIPS are manifestations of my purpose. But we've got to be determined. We've got to be determined. Yes, there's a lot of, for the fitness facility leaders, kind of bringing back the leadership for a quick point. Okay, the industry's facing a tremendous amount of uncertainty right now. You're going to have people that are going to be canceling memberships left and right because they don't feel comfortable in gyms. It's going to be a long time, even after the gyms open, before a lot of people feel comfortable in gyms. And you've got people, again, from a consumer behavior standpoint, again, since gyms have been closed, are finding, particularly the veterans and the determined, diligent exercisers, are finding other options, whether it be a Peloton bike, some people working out outside. You know, I love gyms. I'll continue to be, members of gyms, but Rachelle has been making stuff happen, killing it at Rachelle's Home Fitness Center. So you got people working out at home now that are telling themselves, oh, this is so much easier. I can just do it right here. So the consumer behavior for a number of people, a lot of people, is changing. They're finding other ways to do things in terms of their fitness routine. So that from a consumer behavior standpoint, that is a challenge. So even with that uncertainty, if you're driven by a sense of purpose to impact lives, the quality of life, health outcomes, and that is part of your purpose for being in the fitness industry. That's why I say purpose and motive is everything. People with wrong motives who are just trying to get a paycheck, whatever, they don't last in the fitness industry. That's why part of the reason the turnover is so high. So but walking and having a sense of purpose in terms of your fitness leadership roles will give you the determination to persevere despite the uncertainty. Despite the uncertainty of what may happen when clubs open. Will they reopen? Will it be a month? Will it be 2 months? Will it be 6 months? I don't know what's going to happen. I got members already canceling. That power of passion and purpose will propel you. You've got to love that alliteration. That it just came off the top of my head. Will prepare you to keep on keeping on. But you got to be determined. You got to be determined. You got to be determined not to give up. And this is true just on a general level, folks. Yeah, we're facing a lot of adversity and hardship. Times are tough. Things are hard. Lives have been put on hold, and the pause button has been hit. But I challenge you to persevere. I challenge you not to give up. Not to give up. We were all going to make it to the other side of this. We're all going to emerge better, stronger, more humble, grateful, gracious people. We need to let this adversity and these adverse circumstances and situations do a powerful work in us to make us better people. Rachelle, when good old Rachelle had an opportunity to buy 5 of these, I could have done it. It would have been acceptable. But no, I had to think about the next person. We're in the midst of a pandemic. Now is not the time to hoard and be selfish. Yeah, it took me 4 weeks, but let me tell you folks, when I saw this, you have no idea the smile that was on my face. I stood in that aisle and I yelled, yay! Just like in a sales call. When I'd see a customer over and 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 over. Then that one time, because I persevered and didn't give up, I impacted behavior, I influenced behavior. That person took action. So this is true for us in all aspects of our lives, folks. And so that's my excitement over finding Dove antibacterial hand soap. And I gotta tell you folks about this. So, I volunteer for, typically when I see calls for volunteers for a specific set date or a couple of dates or 3 dates, whatever, for a certain event or activity, I'm very willing to chip in and make time to help and volunteer in the community and do different things like that. Now, in terms of open-ended long-term commitment, my strongest volunteering goes to Michigan Medicine, Division of Clinical Research, as well as Northwestern University. my alma mater in terms of an alumni leadership role. It's been like that for a very long time. But I do a number of one-off types, any type of community activity or event. And, when I worked as an election worker at our recent primary last month. But folks, there was a call out. One of the churches in Novi, my suburb here, I'm not a member of this particular church, but they put out a call. We need volunteers to help to clean and organize the church. So it was Friday, March 6th of this year and Saturday the 7th. So I went and helped out both days. Coordinator was very pleased. Oh my gosh, you're going to help out on both days. That's wonderful. Thank you so much. You're awesome, Rachelle. No problem. Happy to help. And so last week, coordinator for that volunteer effort asked me, send a text message, Rachelle, got some muffins? Okay, folks, let me digress here for a second. I have a sweet tooth. I love sweets. I love sweets. That's part of the reason why I work out and all of that, because again, I want to be free to eat whatever I want to eat, but I'm very disciplined. But folks, and I said, yes, of course, muffins, absolutely. So, okay, meet in the church parking lot, lift up against social distancing, pop your trunk, put them in the trunk. Long story short, folks, I got home, popped my trunk, and was floored, was stopped dead in my tracks. Why, you ask? Only thing you got was some muffins. Folks, let me show you. And I've frozen them to ration them and make them last. Again, I'm very disciplined. Folks, what you see here is an almond poppy seed muffin. I had no idea what kind of muffin. I just know I love muffins. And I saw the pack of 6 almond poppy seed muffins. And as it turns out, they were bought from Costco. I'm a member of Sam's Club, and I thought to myself, I'm gonna have to get in Costco as I've learned that they sell these, folks. The reason why I was stopped dead in my tracks when I saw these, one of my favorite types of muffins, and I love muffins in general, but this one brought back so many memories. Regular almond poppy seed muffins are very difficult to find. What is very predominant now is the lemon poppy seed muffins. You see those everywhere, different bakeries and grocery stores, and I'll buy those from time to time. But regular almond poppy seed muffins, and this took me back. When I saw them, it took me back. It took me back to my first graduate program in Miami, Florida, when I first discovered and grew to love almond poppy seed muffins. Now, Otis Spunkmeyer, those of you who are muffin lovers, you know Otis Spunkmeyer sells muffins, and you see them in grocery stores, you see them in the warehouse clubs like Sam's and Costco's and stuff. So they sell blueberry muffins, banana nut muffins, and some type of chocolate muffin, whatever. And so they used to sell, years ago, almond poppy seed muffins. And they stopped years ago. So I haven't had an almond poppy seed muffin like this, even though it looks like when I saw the package, the Costco bakery made it. But it tasted just like Otis Spunkmeyer. Folks, you have no idea how excited I was, and it brought back memories. And next time during Rachelle's coronavirus update, I'm going to talk about, I draw a lot of inspiration from music. And so that took me back, and I started reflecting and reminiscing. And in the spirit of Michael Jackson's old hit, Do You Remember the Time? And I just was thinking it just brought back, and I was like, absolutely, I remember the time. And graduate school was so poor. And I used to have chicken and rice. I used to make chicken and rice constantly because the chicken was real cheap, and I buy the drumsticks. And so I was constantly making arroz con pollo, chicken with rice, and it was just, and I would have in the almond poppy seed muffins that I would buy from Publix were such a treat to me. They were such a treat to me. Another treat to me during that time period was, like every Saturday I would go to, there was a Korean restaurant in North Miami Beach, and I would go to that Korean restaurant. And then I was, the rest of the week I was making arroz con pollo, and then I was having the Otis Spunkmeyer muffins. And so it brought me back to that period of intense hardship. But I was so determined to press through that. You know, being a broke graduate student, I pressed through that because my education, my higher education, was very important to me. And so we have to think about, folks, what is important to us? We have to keep on keeping on. We have to persevere and be determined. But that brought me back, and I just was so excited to see these muffins, folks. You have no idea. That made my month when I saw those muffins and said, you have got to be kidding me. I had not indicated that I love almond poppy seed muffins and hadn't had any in years because they are just extremely impossible to find. And so the church that I'm not a member of, that I just randomly volunteered to help last month, see, again, we reap what we sow. I sowed some volunteering and some giving back and some time and some generosity. And I love organizing, so it was absolutely easy for me to commit to doing that. But it came back to me in a majorly unexpected way in the form of almond poppy seed muffins that I hadn't had in years. And so, folks, I want to wrap up this episode with that. So we've got to think, as I alluded to last time, what do we have to be thankful for? What do we have to realize how blessed we are? Yes, times are tough. Times are hard. There's a lot of uncertainty and hardship and negativity and wrong things going on. But let's focus on what we can do to generate positivity and make a positive difference in the world and in our families and our communities, all right, despite the coronavirus epidemic. So I'm going to continue Rachelle's Coronavirus Challenge next time on Do You Remember the Time? And I'm going to talk about some other times that I've been reflecting upon that were just, brought about, those memories brought about by these unexpected muffins. It's just amazing. And so I'm going to continue the leadership series. We're going to continue talking about what's your problem. We're going to drill down on a personal level. I'm going to talk to you about my biggest problem in life and some circumstances and scenarios that were consequences of that problem. And so we're going to talk about that. I'm going to challenge you to think about what is your biggest problem. So stay tuned for all of that, folks. But until then, hang in there. Keep on keeping on. Keep your head up. We will make it through this. We will make it. Through this better, stronger, more humble, gracious, grateful people and human beings. So until then, I cannot wait. But until next week, remember, I am positively passionate about your fitness, leadership, success, and happiness. Make it a great day.